Another episode of Shooting with Schumann. And
You love it.
we have to know this is game day, right?
We're shooting on game day.
The Niners will play in approximately 3 or 4 hours. So if you watch this after the game, know that we did our best in predicting what is upcoming. But before we get to tonight's game, let's talk about that first 49ers loss to Jacksonville.
Here's my take on this. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are actually a good team.
Yes,
Okay?
Yes.
I'm going to go with that. I think they're 3-1 now. I think that obviously we'll talk about all of this stuff, but the turnovers were terrible by Brock Purdy. I think they gave up a special teams touchdown. Field possession was terrible, but I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are a good team. That's my big take from that game.
Well, my problem was playing Brock Purdy. You know, they act like they didn't know how turf toe works, and it's ridiculous. And the Niners have been the number one injured team, I think, in the top 5 since Shanahan's been there. They were number 1 last year. And I talked to some people over there. They said Mac Jones's injury was worse than Brock's.
Okay.
So they had to go with Brock. But you have Adrian Martinez waiting, and Shanahan said, we have to win this game. Well, they didn't have to win that game. They were 3-0, and that's what, you get those wins early just for that reason. Now you might not have Brock for 4 or 5 games. All right? And Mac Jones is capable, but with a bulky knee, 1 solid tackle, and Adrian Martinez, it's time for him to step up. So
That is
upsledding.
well, he was the MVP of the UFL, but and that's
Silver
football.
linings.
That's the NFL, though. I talked about backups. It's just guys who are next up. And we're going to see a lot of that if the 49ers continue this way. But they can't run the ball between the tackles. Their whole offense is based on that and play action pass. And McCaffrey, he just cannot get anywhere running through the tackles.
The Niners played so bad in so many levels, and we're actually in that game. So I agree. I don't think Jacksonville's a bad team, but the red zone offense for the Niners
2 years in a row
is just dreadful. We had 6 drop passes. Some were just terribly costly, and you're never going to win on a 4-0 turnover ratio. It's just, we had 0 sacks also. So, man, that was a tough game to watch. They tried to keep us in it. They committed some terrible penalties.
And that's what's happened with the Niners throughout the season. They haven't really beat anybody.
Yeah.
Seattle, they got away with it, all the way down the line. So, and it kind of showed up against, like you said, Sid, a pretty good Jacksonville team. They had a live defense.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence in the first half looked like, I think, what everybody expected him to be. Regressed a little in the second half, kept the Niners in it. But, two interceptions, Brock fumbles at the end. And once again, I'm going to talk about him just throwing the ball to an area. Juwan Jennings went up for that pass and got hit in the ribs so hard. As soon as he got hit, I said crack ribs.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem for him this week. He's not playing this week. And I showed you earlier, the receivers, Kendrick Bourne, Demarcus Robinson will probably start. Then they have Sky Moore, Russell Gage, and Marquez Valdez Scathing. So he's a veteran player, but
That's not a good roster,
No,
Mike.
man,
You might suit up.
well,
Mike, they might need you.
These are all a bunch of Mike Schumans.
That's your toe feeling.
So, but it just was. How do you let Brock play? That's what drives me crazy.
Yeah, so that's a point I want to bring up. Do you think that it was Brock trying not to get hurt? So because a lot of overthrows. I mean, he could not
Right.
hit a receiver.
He was throwing
in the
off
hands.
one leg. That's
exactly
why.
right. So he's trying to maybe not get hurt in that game. It's in the back of his mind. He turned the ball over, many times. And I think there's a little bit to be said about that. Whether he was just trying not to get hurt, throwing bad passes, really affected the game. That has to come into play here.
I think he was playing as full speed as he could with a bad toe. But like I said, because he's only throwing on one leg, every ball he threw was sailing.
Yeah.
And when they get down the red zone, that's part of the problem. He can't see that well down the middle, although he throws the ball well that way. And it's just condensed. And when he throws that big, fat loft ball, you can't do that in the red zone. You got to throw darts down there, and I just haven't seen him do that, actually, this year. So I don't know. It's just my biggest concern tonight is, can Mac Jones get through the full game?
Yeah. And I think, so one thing that I'm going to hit on, I think the defense actually looks halfway decent. I think they look pretty good,
Without
right?
Ronaldo Green starting last week, and he's
Yeah,
back.
so I mean, they got put in tough positions. They're turning the ball over. They're on the field a lot.
They got gutted a little bit in the run game.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Etienne had that one big run, but I mean, I don't know.
But you don't have Nick Bosa, and he makes a big difference.
Big difference.
He's taking two guys every time, two offensive linemen to stop him. So they were just one-on-one throughout the whole game, and nobody could bust
with the run game, that was the worst we'd done against the run and the worst pass rush we'd had. Tough game on a short week. The Rams are a real physical team, real physical D-line. Niners are getting 8.5
That's unbelievable.
So it
in a
moved.
divisional game.
We were talking about this. So 3.5 before all these announcements of Purdy, Jennings, Ricky not playing, right? Moved to 8.5 quick. So 5 points. That's a lot of points to get here, but it's basically like somewhat practice squad at this point.
Well, they have a bye, if I'm not mistaken, after this game. So they'll get almost 9 days to get healthy. Now, can they get healthy enough? I don't think Brock's going to be back because he damaged that toe again, and that's ligament damage. That's just not a turf toe. So, and he's lucky he didn't have to have surgery. So
they call these like the mini buys, right? Because you don't play until the whole next Sunday. So
yeah, exactly.
That's why
so
they're going to
they
hold a
can
lot
get
of these
healthy,
guys
but
out.
they have Tampa Bay, and I think it's down there.
Yeah,
so that's another tough. So the 3-0 start is going to be an advantage for them because they could easily be 3-3 after 6 games.
Yeah. So let's make a decision. Here we go with picks. I think I was. I lost one, but it was 47, so maybe I got a tie on the
kind of push,
Kind of a push there. Mike, you had a good week. Why don't you start this week? It's 8.5 and 43.5 on the over/under. What do you got, Mike?
Well, I tell you what, the Niners lose games they're supposed to win, and they find a way to win games they're supposed to lose. And this is about the time of year when I will switch over to the Niners.
Ooh, okay.
So I know I'll be the bad guy again. I'm going to take the Niners with those 8.5. If it would have been at 3.5, no way.
Sure.
But at 8.5, these teams, the Rams and the Niners get together, you don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go out on a limb here and take the Niners to come away with this victory.
Okay, what do you got on the over/under?
Over/under, that's going to be interesting. I'll take the over because Matt Stafford's going to light it up. You know that. So I'll take the over on that.
Okay, what do you got, Nick?
Man,
you've been struggling.
Everything tells me that the Niners are going to get blown out tonight.
And I agree. And I agree.
But Puka Nacua is playing out of his mind.
He's an MVP candidate.
Devontae, Stafford, but somehow Shanahan always has an edge on McVay. For whatever reason, Shanahan outplays McVay. So I'll take the Niners in a backdoor cover. Backdoor cover. Hopefully, and I do like the over as well. I think, Mac Jones is going to have to. We're going to have to convert those red zone opportunities into touchdowns somehow, some way to make this, stay competitive.
That's a very surprise. I don't even know you.
Yeah. Yeah. Backdoor cover tonight.
Where'd that come
Let's
from?
go.
Okay, here's my take. I think that Shanahan went to Lynch, all right, and he's saying, here's the deal. We got these days off. If we don't recover now, I think the season could be in jeopardy. I think that they're just going to throw this game away, all right? So I'm not saying that I don't love the Niners, and I'm very dedicated for them. But
they'll compete.
They'll compete. They'll have guys out there, but they're just going to say, hey, listen, we can go 3-2 into the bye, right? We got a big game coming up. We got a long season here. Our schedule looks pretty easy. Let's just take this game and kind of see what happens, all right?
And get healthy.
And get healthy. When you do that, I think they're going to get boat raced. And I think they're okay with it. All right, that's what I'm going to go with. So
I don't think that doesn't exist in the NFL. All right.
Now,
but we understand what you're saying.
Behind the scenes, right? They're not saying that to the players, but I think there's a little bit of that ideology here.
You think Robert Saleh is over there like, it's okay, guys?
No.
You don't have to, try
you saw
hard.
him go after the head coach of Jacksonville.
Don't steal his sign.
Take his life.
Don't steal his signs.
But you're taking basically all of their big weapons away from them. I think Mac is going to have nobody to throw to. And
You're underestimating Jake Tongas. I'm telling you that now.
The Cal grad.
That is my pick to click.
He's calling a breakout game.
All right, so here, let me do my pick. Okay, I'm unfortunately going to take the Rams in the 8.5 here. I don't really want to do this, and then I'm going to take the under because I think it could get ugly for the 49ers. Okay, so listen, it's a hot take here. Like Mike says, have a hot take here.
Right,
That's what I'm going with. All right.
Who's your pick to click?
Player of the game, Brian Robinson. Okay, this is going to go with my
Not bad.
Pull the starters early.
Right.
McCaffrey's. They don't want to wear him down. I think McCaffrey will kind of split carries on this short week. So I like Brian Robinson getting a lot of carries, and out of what's going to happen, I like him having a big game. That's my guy.
Boy, if all your boys at Del Paso hear this, they might not talk to you for a while.
Probably true. But hey, listen, sometimes you got to be a realist of what's going to maybe
I
happen.
appreciate
right?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you both are scaring me.
Yeah.
So
We do this every week, so we got to have, we can't come up with the same stuff every week, I
Right,
guess.
no.
But
So-
I think it's that's where I'm going this week.
And I think because of the Niners and Rams, it's always been the most fierce rivalry on the West Coast in the NFL. You just never know what's going to happen.
Never know.
And that's that kind of game. Seattle used to be like that a little bit, but with the Rams, it's going to be pretty interesting.
You got a player to watch tonight, Mike?
I like your pick with Tongas.
Yeah.
So he's a guy with your wide receivers you're not sure of. And Mac Jones hasn't worked with any of these wide receivers. So that might be an interesting take, and easier to get the ball down the middle. And I
Sure.
wish they'd throw the ball more to the outside. Square outs are so available, and Jacksonville was doing it all day.
They were.
So I don't know what's happened to that route, but it seems to have disappeared from the NFL. So
Around the NFL.
Hold on, who's your guy this week?
Tongas.
You both
got
are going
both.
Tongas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tongas is my
and
guy.
B. Rob, that's not a bad call.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
We'll see.
And if they get down 14-0, you'll see a lot of switching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Okay, around the NFL. What do you got, Nick?
The Eagles are 4-0, and they have been outgained in every game.
Wow.
Did you see their wide receivers walking off? Like it looks like the wide receivers are not even playing.
They did not
Yeah.
complete a pass in the second half last week
And still won.
and won the game.
AJ Brown and Smith are just walking off like
They score on
Not
special
happy.
teams, their defense, and they run the ball.
And they run the ball.
But
That's how you win.
That's wild.
I hate to interrupt, but Mike, you brought up this point. They know who they are,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
They
AJ
know-
Brown doesn't know.
Yeah, well, listen, he's got $130 million.
And
He's
it's
gonna
hard
be
to
okay.
complain when you're 4-0.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's
He is, though.
for all the hot takes online. Kelsey, obviously he's doing ESPN. He's like, hey, listen, all of this stuff is fine as they're 4-0. If they start losing games, it might get a little crazy in that locker room. But they know who they are, right? And that's who they are.
I
That's what they
think
do.
that's a big takeaway. The Ravens are 1-3, and Lamar's hurt.
Yeah.
That was a very, very popular, trendy Super Bowl pick for a lot of people.
Do you even know who their backup quarterback is?
It's Cooper
Rush.
Cooper
Very
Rush.
good.
I was
Former
going to
Dallas
call him
Cowboy.
Cooper Cush.
Great name, Cooper. My son's
Cooper-
name's Cooper. Great name.
Cooper
Great
Rush.
name.
Cooper Rush. So
Yeah.
Cowboys
I
legend.
saw it yesterday. I went, Cooper Rush will take over. And I said, oh my God, that's where he went.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of that, what do you think of ties?
yeah, you can't have ties.
That was terrible, man.
You can't have
What a game,
ties.
though.
That was
I mean,
terrible.
yeah.
It was until the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't have ties in the NFL. So
Yeah.
No.
it just makes it so difficult.
What do you like? So I heard a proposed was, after each team gets a possession, you go alternating plays from the 8-yard line, offense, defense.
Yeah, I
Right?
agree. Something has to
Shootout
happen,
type,
yeah. Because
know.
it goes to a field goal, then you got to go for 2,
Right.
and then let's just move it up, and you each.
I just think, each team
Or
gets
keep
one
playing
play.
until somebody scores.
Well, they won't do that for the player safety issue, right?
Yes,
They
I
say
know.
too many plays. That's why they shortened it down to just the 10-minute overtime. But, I mean, Goodell has to figure this
No, you
out.
gotta do
Couple
something.
takes on this tie thing. First off, did you see George Pickens? No idea that there's even ties in the NFL. He had no idea.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I thought we just keep playing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like really a guy that's just out there in
Yeah.
nowhere. I don't know what he's doing.
But that's happened over the years.
Lots of times.
Lots of guys.
Some
Yeah.
coaches didn't even know.
Exactly. The other thing is Major League Baseball kind of fixed this, right? Put a guy at second base, right, in extra innings, right? So
Right.
I think Nick, you're talking about some let's kind of like college did a little bit. Let's have
College
that.
overtime is amazing.
It's amazing, right? Just you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just go with that.
And the NFL won't do it because college came up with it.
Yeah, probably
You know,
true.
It's an ego thing with them, and I saw that. I said, "Are you kidding me?" So, and then you get down to the playoffs. Some team could lose, because of that tie.
Yeah, we're in the seeding, right?
Right,
Yeah, exactly. One thing I had here, obviously Tyreek Hill, kind of
Oh.
nasty there. I mean,
I can't believe they showed it as often as they did.
Oh,
and
they
a
always do that.
dislocated knee.
Man,
You know?
that's
So first of all, you got to pop it back in, you know,
Ooh.
and then see what the damage is. So he had ACL, he had all of them torn up.
he looked kind of happy because maybe he doesn't have to deal with this Miami mess anymore. But I don't think he's happy about his.
And I don't think
leg.
Mike McDaniel will make it through the season.
no.
No.
But maybe the Niners will take him back. Run game coordinator. Come on home, Mike.
Sure, he brought Robert Saleh
We
back,
would
so-
love you.
So you talked about Philly. Philly's playing Denver this week. I think that's going to be a good game. I like what Denver looked this week. I think Bo Nix, he's not a great quarterback, but he looked pretty good this
He
week.
finds a way to win. And
Yeah.
Jackson Dart up in New York with the Giants. winning.
Surprising.
I'm telling you, he had a game, and you know,
I was surprised how many design runs they called
Yeah.
for a rookie quarterback.
Well, and, you
He's
know,
a big guy.
you got Russell Wilson and
Jameis.
Jameis Winston behind, you know, and they go with the rookie. But Dayball knows his job's on the line, so he's got to win a couple games. Just
They
to
lost
stick around.
neighbors too, right? That's a
Yeah.
big
Yeah,
loss for
Malik.
them.
Yes,
loss.
exactly.
Yeah.
So-
Turf up there is terrible.
But
So-
you're starting to see now what every team is. After about 4 games, you know, everybody now kind of knows where they are, where they have to make improvements. Niners have to be able to run the ball between the tackles. It's unbelievable. McCaffrey,
Have to.
he's broken one for maybe 2 yards between
Yeah.
the tackles. Trent Williams getting a little old, about a half
He
a
did
step
not have a
slower.
good game.
No.
So all of a sudden, we're seeing this Super Bowl core that they've been talking about for the last 9 years with Shanahan getting old, and it's over with this core. And a lot of teams now reload instead of rebuild. And I think in this position, the Niners almost need to rebuild. So
3-1. We talking
no, I'm just
rebuild?
saying. I'm just
Oh.
saying with the injuries they're starting to have, you're
Yeah.
starting to see them break down as often as they are. So.
Speaking
And
of
unfortunately,
rebuild,
the Super Bowl is at Levi this year.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
this
yeah.
would have been the year, and it's not over. You don't know, but we'll see.
I was going to say, speaking of rebuild, does the U.S. just absolutely suck at golf?
Oh, man. I thought we were not going to bring that up today, Nick.
Well-
the Ryder Cup, but
Might have to rebuild top down.
you know, so okay, hold on. I'm going to bring up 2 NFL things, and then we'll go
Okay.
to Ryder
All
Cup.
right, all
Okay,
right.
real quick. Okay, Tampa Bay, Seattle. I think it's a big game for the Niners, right? Tampa Bay,
Right.
and then Seattle. I think Detroit Lions look really good again.
They do.
Those are a couple
yeah,
things.
and
I thought.
the
solid.
Packers are not as good as we thought.
Exactly.
Apparently.
So I guess
right?
we're going to be changing every week.
Well, that's the
what's
beauty of the
going on.
league. You know, we're,
Yeah.
like I say, a quarter of the way through now. You kind of know what you have. What do you need to improve? And I would agree with you with the Americans at Ryder Cup. No, I saw some follow up on that. He said they barely practiced.
They never played the course.
Yeah, the Europeans were there, played like 7 days in a row. You know, as soon as the U.S. got paid, they all got $500,000 each. 250 went to charity, 250 to themselves. It's almost like, okay, I got my money, and just didn't seem to take it
Europe
serious.
just has the cooler guys, though.
Oh,
too.
yeah, but that roster for Europe was unbelievable, and you didn't think Sunday was going to happen like it did.
Ooh.
And when Lowry made that putt, I thought he was going to have a heart attack. He all the stress that and he doesn't make that putt. United States might have come back and won that.
I think they probably do. I think the big thing to take away here from the Ryder Cup is Europe invest in the Ryder Cup. They're very interested in winning this. I think the USA says they are,
Yeah.
but they're really not. These guys are more individual players, where these Ryder Cup guys like Lowry and Rory have grown up together,
Yeah.
and they feed off of this stuff, and they actually love this environment, and it's showing. They literally waxed us the first 2 days.
And didn't get paid, the Europeans.
Didn't get paid,
Yeah.
and they don't care about getting. These guys are
Exactly.
just so rich, right? So
That's what it was
they
ridiculous.
all live in America.
yeah, I mean,
And they
it's
just
like,
kicked our ass.
but listen, I got to give some credit to the USA for coming back on Sunday. It was like I was literally yelling at my TV,
Right.
like that guy, like when first off, Cam Young made that putt,
Oh, yeah.
and Justin Thomas made that putt, and I was saying, is this? Could it happen?
Could this happen?
I got the Niners 2 games, and then they both just hit me.
And it
with-
was 15-13, I think it ended up, right?
yeah. And
So,
that Victor Hovland thing with his neck, we can talk about that.
Well,
Maybe.
that's another rule that maybe needs. In that case, I think the USA should have got the half point, not both teams getting the half point.
Exactly.
Because if you can't play, you lose. But because it was an injury, maybe do a half point like that.
Yeah.
So, but it was sad to watch. It's almost like you said, Sid. USA just takes it for granted. They don't live and die for that, and to lose on your home course. So to
In New
speak.
York.
Yeah, in New York. I have to say though, the fans just got out of control. And that's kind of the general fandom, it seems like, in every sport now. You'd think the Europeans would be like that from soccer, but they sing these catchy little songs, and they're having more fun, where the United States fans were being abusive. For Rory to turn around twice and say "F you" to the fans, shut the F up.
Yeah.
It's just out of control. So
I
that was
completely agree.
It was embarrassing, I think. On top of the loss, the fans were.
If the Niner game gets out of control tonight, you do get winner take all baseball. Man.
Okay,
so
well,
at least we got that. We got Red Sox, Yankees in a winner take all game. Speaking of people out of control, obnoxious, and hating each other, Red Sox, Yankees.
Yeah.
Here we go. So at least we got that.
And I got to give baseball credit. For a couple of years, I was out. Right? It just didn't have the pizzazz I did when a kid. But I'm back now. I love watching it. I think there's a lot of really cool guys to watch. I really like these 3-game series.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. The 3-game wild card is awesome.
Yeah.
The speed of the game now, games move so much faster.
Going to a game is enjoyable because I'll get home on time, but I'm back in. I think baseball has really revamped.
Especially playoff baseball. The Dodgers, oh my goodness. That offensive lineup. And for any Giants fans out there, you're not supposed to pull for that, but that is an impressive team, and it's going to be hard for anybody to get through.
They are stacked. I'm, for some reason, pulling for the Padres. I don't know why. I just got a fun, exciting team. So they're in a winner-take-all game with the Cubs. That's I think starting right now. So I'll be streaming that on the side.
Can I bring up one thing about the baseball? Why did we trade Miller? That guy is phenomenal. He's got a couple more years left, and he just comes in there and nobody can hit him.
The A's got the number 3 overall prospect for a relief pitcher.
Nick,
that was a smart move. Give it a couple years. Give it some time.
We say this all the time.
The A's weren't going to compete this year. They have Vegas in their sights. Give the A's 2-3 years.
2 more years.
They're going to be a decent team. Nick Kurtz is an amazing player. Wilson.
Quick update on that. Did you see that? Next year, Sacramento A's jerseys.
Oh, that's
we're going to catch a couple of the Sacramento
A's.
And who's going to be the new manager for the Giants? And Bochy didn't renew in Texas, and everybody assumed that, but Buster's already come out and said no. And I think it's time for a younger manager for that team. And Buster could run that team himself from upstairs if he can get a young manager and kind of
You think he gets a former teammate? That's
could.
the rumors out there, maybe a potential former teammate, at least somebody that was around.
Be a catcher
in that era.
Who's the guy? I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big Giants fan. I really could care less who they get. Hopefully they get somebody that is going to put them in a dumpster fire.
But nothing like playoff baseball.
It's great. I love it. Love it. Let's go. Find a way, Padres. And either way, Yankees, Red Sox, don't really care. Hate them both. Let's see some fireworks.
Big week. Thursday night football. Here we go.